These relationships are so toxic, they should come with a warning label. That's how I feel about some of my past relationships. A warning label would have been nice. I probably would have ignored it though. My husband of 4 years has a weird relationship with his pregnant coworker. I'm not sure if I should be worried or not. Weird relationship as in that could be his baby? Or, because that's where my mind went. Ugh. Oh my God, there's a bug in my hand. Oh my God. Oh! I'm so sorry. I'm not that sorry. This story was first posted December 30th, 2015. My husband has worked with Kelsey for the last 2 years, and I never thought anything about the relationship was strange until now. For the past 5 months, the amount of time that has lapsed since my husband found out that Kelsey was pregnant, he has gone out of his way to support her in a way that makes me uncomfortable. I might be able to understand his actions if they weren't so extreme, but they mostly strike me as downright strange and out of character for him. For one, when he found out she was pregnant, he came to me and asked if we could give her $1,000 to help her with some of her expenses. He said that Kelsey's baby's father was out of the picture and she was struggling. I don't know Kelsey personally, but I can sympathize with her situation. I agreed to let him write her a check for $250. I did think that was odd though, because my husband has never really been that charitable. I've never known him to be the type of person that goes out of his way to help a coworker or a stranger, but whatever. A few weeks later, my husband came to me and asked again if we could help Kelsey out. This time he wanted to buy a pram for Kelsey. The one he had picked out was quite expensive, so I wasn't comfortable with just giving him the okay. We spent about a week discussing it before we finally agreed to purchase a cheaper one for her. This came after he asked her if the second one would be okay. I took this opportunity to ask him how much more money he wanted to spend on Kelsey and her baby. We had already spent $500 on them at this point, and I started to get concerned. We had a fight about this where he accused me of being selfish. What? He said that he was trying to do a good deed for someone and that he thought I would be happy to support a young mother-to-be like Kelsey and her baby. I did feel a little guilty afterwards, so I backed off. Fast forward to last week. I found out after the fact that my husband had bought a $150 gift card to Babies R Us for Kelsey as a Christmas present. We had another fight about how much more money he's spending on her and the baby, and again, he accused me of being stingy. Very stingy. I asked how much more money he planned to spend, and he told me that he didn't know. I asked him if he could see how this situation could make me uncomfortable and how it might lead me to think that something was going on between them. He said that he was disappointed that I would think his good deed was anything other than him trying to help a coworker. He has been giving me the silent treatment since that fight and making passive-aggressive comments, which is frustrating. I can't get him to understand that my concerns are legitimate. Besides, it's not like we have the ability to keep spending this kind of money on Kelsey. In addition to money, my husband also spent a lot of time helping Kelsey in other ways. He spent time fixing up things around her apartment before the baby comes and doing other odd jobs for her. All of this makes me extremely uncomfortable, but anytime I bring it up, he accuses me of trying to stop him from helping someone in need of assistance or being greedy. He won't acknowledge what I think is very worrisome behavior. At this point, I wonder what I'm supposed to do. I think he really is trying to do a good deed, but part of me worries that something else is happening. I don't want to believe that he would cheat on me. He's never given me any reason to suspect this, but I can't help but wonder sometimes, especially when he's And here I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt. Especially when he's gone with Kelsey to her OBGYN appointment on 2 occasions, though he claimed it was because she needed a ride. Does he have a point? Am I being selfish for harassing him over helping Kelsey? How should I try to get him to understand his behavior is making me uncomfortable? I'm not sure how I should handle this situation. Nothing seems to be working. See, you lost me at the appointments. You lost me there. He could have, paid for a taxi for her to go, an Uber. This is all just, I understand wanting to help someone, all right? But your wife has to be on board. Your wife is your priority. 100%. I don't know. I have so many mixed emotions going on here. I think it would be different if the wife also had a relationship with Kelsey and she was like a friend, more in their life, and they could understand, like, we're helping out this friend of ours. I don't know. something, I don't know how I feel yet. We have an update, which came January 8th, 2016. Since many of you asked for an update and you were kind enough to offer advice, I have decided to give one. The first thing I did after making my initial post was to confront my husband directly. Again, I asked him point blank if he was so involved with Kelsey's pregnancy because he was the father of her child. He denied it. I then asked him to introduce me to Kelsey since he had given her money that belonged to both of us. When I mentioned this, he got very defensive and accused me of being insecure. No, absolutely not. This is gaslighting, right? Your wife comes to you and says, you're making me uncomfortable and you're continuing to do it and I want to meet her. And then you try to flip it around on her? No, ma'am. Not me. I responded by saying that at least I had a right to know the person I was helping and that he shouldn't have a problem with me meeting Kelsey if nothing was going on between them. He then told me that he wasn't going to introduce us and that I needed to work on my jealousy issues. I decided to contact Kelsey the next day. I found her, or at least the woman I thought was her, through a mutual friend's Facebook page. I sent her a message telling her who I was. I explained to her why I was concerned about the relationship with my husband, and I requested that she please let me know if she was having my husband's baby. She sent me a very nasty message back. I will spare you many of the details. I wish you didn't. The basic gist was that I was old and unattractive and unable to satisfy my husband, so he found someone better. Example, Kelsey. Among other things, she claimed that the baby was my husband's and that he was planning to leave me, but felt sorry for me and couldn't bring himself to do it. I told you.
And when did I tell you? A long time ago.
I freaking knew it. She ended the message by telling me that I should let him go so that they can be together. It hurt a lot to read that message. It still hurts me to think about it. I confronted my husband that same night. I showed him the message. He got really quiet and admitted that she was telling the truth, but denied telling her all the horrible things that he said about me. He said getting her pregnant, was a mistake and he was only trying to do the right thing by her and the baby. He denied that they were sleeping together and said he wanted to stay with me and have a baby with me. No thanks. I have no idea if either of these things are true. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Everything has happened so fast. A couple of days have passed now and I'm still thinking things over. He wants us to go to counseling to try to work through this, but I don't think I'm interested in working on our marriage. It would be hard for me to get past this if he had cheated. Haven't they both admitted that she's pregnant with his child? What do you mean? Had cheated. The proof is inside her belly. But the fact that he may be having a child with this woman makes it harder. If I stay with him, she's always going to be in our lives. I have thought about waiting until we can do a paternity test to make a final decision, but I don't know if I want to do that either. It may be easier if I just make the change now. I have started looking for divorce attorneys. Most of my family and friends have told me I need to get out of this marriage, and each day I get closer to making that move. I just need a bit more time before I'm ready to make a decision. And there's no update, unfortunately. So we'll never know what happened, but I really hope you got out of that marriage, girlfriend. I can't even offer advice because this story's so old, you've already made your decision at this point. Run. Next story. My boyfriend faked a proposal, so I broke up with him. Let me tell you, if I don't like those proposal prank videos I see online, all right? You want to piss me off? Fake propose to me. I feel like I'm going to relate to this story quite a bit. Except the part of being proposed to. Kidding! Not really. It's a fact. This story was first posted August 4th, 2023. Me, 24 female, I've been dating my boyfriend Andrew, 26 male, for 5 years now, and we've had a healthy and stable relationship up until today. Andrew has always been a prankster and makes jokes with me all the time, and I do to him too, but today he took it too far. In the morning, he woke me up at 7 a.m. and told me to wake up because he wanted to take me to the spa. I was pretty surprised because it wasn't a special day or anything, but I was all in for it. At the spa, he told me how he wanted to go to a fancy restaurant after we were done at the spa and that he was paying. Of course, I agreed as we hadn't been out together in a long time. When we got to the restaurant, we had a beautiful and romantic dinner and just a nice time in general. We were talking about a house we were planning to move into and chit-chatted about other stuff too. After around 40 minutes, Andrew stood up and got on his knee and took out a box out of his pocket. My heart stopped beating. I hadn't even predicted this. We have never talked about proposals before, but I also thought it was a great time now. He did a speech about how I was the most beautiful girl in the world and how he wanted to live with me forever, and ended with, "Will you marry me, my princess?" Of course, I said yes. Seconds later, all that excitement turned into horror. He opened the small box I expected that he put the ring in, and in it was a note saying, "You've been pranked." And Andrew started laughing hysterically. I would be in jail. I would be escorted out of that restaurant in handcuffs. He continued with, "Baby, this was just a prank. I'm not ready at all to marry you yet." He was leaning in to hug me, but I gave him the biggest slap ever with tears streaming down my face. I just told him, "We are over, you effing scumbag." I'm now sitting in my bed crying and writing this. I don't know what to do. He's been texting and calling me, but I haven't responded because I feel so sad, betrayed, and mostly angry. I thought this was going to be one of the best days of my life. What should I do? We do have an update, but I'll just never understand this prank. Especially when you've been together for 5 years, you're probably thinking this moment could be real. And to all the effort to go to a spa, a fancy restaurant, and to make someone feel that emotion, for what? I don't even understand the prank. Did you expect a laugh out of that? I don't get it. The update came August 5th, 2023. After I made that Reddit post, I fell asleep crying, then woke up and decided to call my now ex-boyfriend. I told him that it was over and I didn't want to be together with someone who after 5 years still isn't ready for marriage, and made a big joke about it. He cried and then turned angry and demanded me to stay and told me I was an effing a-hole for leaving him like this after everything he has done for me. Oh my God, what a blessing in disguise this is that you're not marrying this person. He cussed me out so much that I stopped listening at that point, so I don't really remember everything he said. In the end, we came to a sort of agreement that we were going to sell the house and that he will be sleeping in the guest room for now. So today I've just been scrolling the internet for apartments so I can have a fresh start. He is still not happy about the breakup though. He is trying so bad to get back with me, saying stuff the whole day like, "Can't we be together again?" and "This was just a small mistake I made." But the one that did it for me was, quote, "Don't be so effing petty and drop it. You know we are happy together and you know you still want me." That truly could not make me want a person less. When he said that, I absolutely lost it and called him every single name I could come up with and then slammed my door. I think he also told his family about this whole situation because today I got a call from his mom telling me how selfish I was and how I couldn't handle a simple joke, and it ended with her calling me a sleut and hanging up the call. After that, I've gotten several messages from his other family members, such as his siblings, his dad, and his aunt. I've tried to just block them all, but every now and then comes a new message. I feel like more will happen, but the next update will probably be not in less than a week or so, as I'm trying to sell stuff that I don't need, find an apartment, and fix everything with the house and stuff before we put it up for sale. I just want to get out of here as quickly as possible. We have a final update. Girl, imagine that being your mother-in-law, a woman who's gonna call you a sleut. The next update and the final update came August 15th, 2023. After my last post, we had constant fights for days during the evenings, and one day I decided that I had enough. My closest friend let me move in with her for now until I find somewhere else to live, and I still don't know what exactly we're doing with our house. But I've gotten lawyers involved and it's gonna take quite a while. The biggest incident since I last posted is probably that I met my ex's mom in a mall and she screamed at me in public. I have never felt so humiliated. Everyone probably thought I had done something horrible as she yelled things like, "How could you do this to my son? You're a terrible human being." I just walked away because I still felt so embarrassed. Also, ever since I moved, constant messages have appeared from my ex, from his friends, and from his family members, and they are nasty messages. Such as, "No one will give a flying if you died, you are a waste of space." Or, "You are such a self-centered sleut, leaving your boyfriend over a small joke." I try to ignore them, but sometimes I do break down over them. This situation has also helped me learn who my real friends are, as some of my friends turn their back against me. This whole thing still feels surreal to me, and it's gonna take some time for me to process it. And that's it. Maybe it's just me and that would be my reaction. I just don't find that funny. And I think maybe you could have stayed after. You could have been mad. It could have been a fight, but you guys could have worked through it if things played out differently after. If he didn't say some of the things he said, if his family and friends didn't get so involved and say terrible things about you. I don't know. I'm really trying to see it as like, oh, just a prank. Like those are real feelings though on the line in that prank. I don't know, y'all. Tell me what you guys think about this. Curious. We are hopping on hydration station though, and you better drink some water. Cheers. First, we chapstick. Always. Anyone else have a chapstick addiction? I always have to have something on my lips. If you saw the basket in my drawer of how many I have, it's absurd. And now, hello, it's hard to do this with one hand. A little bit of color. I don't know why I said it in that accent, but... And then we're ready. Next story, my boyfriend thinks I'm only dating him because he's rich. Well, are you? I'm just kidding. We'll find out. This story came July 23rd, 2025. I, female 29, have been dating my boyfriend, male 35, for almost 6 months. We've known each other for about 1.5 years. I'm a teacher and I make around $50K a year. Is that all that teachers make? And teaching is a good paying job. Oh my God. I expected so much higher. Okay. And he is a lawyer. While his yearly earnings vary based on which clients and companies he works with, it's always somewhere in the 6 figures. Recently, we attended a family get-together at my parents' house. My parents and older brother had already met him before this, but also invited some of our extended family and my sister-in-law's family as well. Everything was going fine until my sister walked in. We are in low contact. We would be no contact if my parents didn't want to have a relationship with her, and nobody told me that she had been invited. When I asked my mom what was up, she said she invited her because she needed some encouragement. I was absolutely fuming, but decided to see how the night went and leave if my sister decided to stir anything up. Thankfully, my sister seemed fine and I didn't see her much. My boyfriend left early since he was tired and I thought that was that. Boy, was I wrong. A week passed with no messages from him, which is really weird. We text each other every day, just chatting about our days or making plans for dates. Then all of a sudden, he texts me to meet up at a park that he wanted to talk about something important. I feel like that's the worst text when you get like, we need to talk. Just shoot an arrow through my chest instead. That's so dramatic. I had no idea what was up. We meet, he doesn't hug me, also out of the ordinary, and I ask him what's wrong. First thing out of his mouth, are you dating me just because I'm rich? What the hell? No, I'm not, and I tell him that. He just asks me again, like he doesn't believe me. I ask him where he's getting this from. It's so out of left field. Then he asks me if I ever said that all my problems would be solved if I married rich. I'm not gonna lie, I've definitely joked about that, but in the same way you say, maybe I should quit my job and move to Iceland and herd sheep for the rest of my life. Anyways, I tell him that and I ask him again, where the heck is this coming from? He said my sister told him. Apparently, she introduced herself and they chatted for a bit. When he told her he was a lawyer, she said that makes total sense because I always wanted to marry rich. Looks like she's living the dream. Y'all, I could have screamed. I can't even describe the emotions that I was feeling. My sister spent years bullying me and abusing me, and she has the absolute audacity to take a joke I said when I was a depressed teenager with health issues out of context and misrepresent me to my boyfriend. Literally insane. I was shaking. I told my boyfriend that what she said was entirely out of context and you can't trust her. He just kept pressing and asking why she would say something like that so casually if it wasn't the truth. I told him because she's a narcissist who spent years treating me like a punching bag and never taking accountability. He just couldn't get it. So I left. I told him that if he was going to take the word of a person who he just met over the word of all my friends and family who will vouch for me that I'm not that kind of person over all of the months he's spent getting to know me as a person, then this was not going to work. The tears were already starting to come down, but I managed to hold it together all right until I got to my car and I just sobbed. I felt broken. I'm in love with my boyfriend. He is the first person I have ever felt comfortable being myself with. He truly is such an intelligent and mature person. The way he communicates in our relationship has been truly healing, coming from the family dynamics that I grew up with. But the biggest fear I've had with dating is that someone wouldn't trust me. That the person I love and trust the most would question me on who I am when I've already shown them. Which is why this whole situation is so confusing and painful. I don't get it. It's been a few days and I don't know where we go from here. I haven't texted him because I need space and he hasn't texted me either. Am I overreacting? Do you know how many times I've heard people joke like that? People who are even married, they make jokes because life's expensive and they're like, oh my God, I guess I should have just married rich. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. I'm sure we all said that too in our teenage years. We're all like, I thought I was gonna marry Zac Efron or Nick Jonas. Literally convinced that was my future. Now I'm just dating someone that kind of looks like them both. So they say you do end up with your, have you guys seen that? I think it was a TikTok trend where like this filter would have like a bunch of different like Disney princes or like old Disney characters, and you tap it and it'll pick one for you, and they say it matches who you're with right now in life. And I did it and it was spot on. I forget who it was though. I forget what Disney prince it was. And I was like, it's like they know. We have an update, which came 4 days later, July 27th, 2025. I decided to text my boyfriend on Friday and I sent him this message. I'm no longer Joss, I am the girlfriend. Hey, boyfriend. I wanted to apologize for leaving things the way I did. I was really upset and hurt, so I left before my emotions got worse, which obviously didn't help the situation. Can we meet up this weekend and talk? I want to see if we can get back on the same page and evaluate our relationship. All right. He texted me back almost immediately and agreed to meet up at my place yesterday. I was pretty nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Some people thought that I should just break up with him, and others thought that maybe there was something deeper going on that he wasn't telling me. Either way, I wanted to get all the facts. When I opened the door, he was holding a bouquet of flowers and had a look on his face I had never seen before. It was a mixture of sad and concerned, which was kind of overwhelming because he's not really the type to be so expressive or emotional. He gave me the flowers, we sat down, and the first words out of his mouth were, "I'm so sorry, my name. I know I effed up." That apology just calmed me down because I was so afraid this was going to go back and forth of us trying to defend ourselves for what happened. He said he was just about to text me to meet up and talk when I had texted him. I thanked him for the apology, apologized for my reaction too, and I asked him, how did we get here? Can you just explain everything from the beginning so I can understand? I was not prepared for what he told me. For some context, my boyfriend was not the person he used to be. He used to be a serial womanizer, workaholic type of guy. I was aware of all this before we started dating. His dad, who is also a lawyer, was his idol. He wanted to be just like him. However, his dad had been married to his mom for many years, so that was where my boyfriend drew a line. He was fine hooking up with women while he was single, but as soon as he got married, that would be the end and he would be a faithful partner like his dad. Unfortunately for him, things kind of all came crashing down when he found out that his mom had been cheating on his dad for years. When my boyfriend told his dad about it, his dad told him to keep it to himself because his dad had also been cheating for years. Okay. I think they both knew about the other partner's affair and just decided they cared more about their image and reputation, so they never got a divorce. My boyfriend was floored. The idealized image of his dad was shattered and he got really depressed. He started drinking and going to bars more after work, and that's where we met our mutual friend, Matt. Fake name. Matt was working as a bartender and got to know him a bit. Matt's a wonderful person, the type who really takes an interest in everyone. Matt helped him get a better handle on his life and they became friends. I'm wondering why this is relevant though, but okay. My boyfriend completely changed his lifestyle. He stopped over drinking, cut his hours down from 80 to 90-hour work weeks that he used to do, and stopped objectifying women just to sleep with them. Matt later moved into my city for work and I was introduced to him because he started dating one of my friends, Becca. My boyfriend and I actually met at Matt and Becca's wedding. Anyways, my boyfriend moved out here a few years ago to get away from his parents after his lifestyle changed to essentially restart his life for good. So that brings us to last week after I left the park. Still wondering the relevance of that. Am I missing something? My boyfriend took what I said to heart, that the word of my family and friends should be enough for him to trust me, and went straight to Matt after to get his thoughts. My boyfriend said Matt was really kind, letting him explain what happened without interrupting, but then afterward, Matt really laid into him. Matt asked him, "Do you really think OP would still be living in a crappy one-bedroom apartment if she was dating you just for money? Has she ever given you any reason to question her before all of this?" My boyfriend admitted that I had never given him any reason to question my motives, that he knows I'm generous and not materialistic, but my sister's words got into his head. He said, "It was like listening to a child. They have no reason to lie to you, so I believed it immediately." I actually don't blame him for that part. Every single person who has met my sister describes her as innocent and bubbly and has a very difficult time seeing her as anything but that. Even my parents still view her like this, despite them knowing how many people she's cheated on, how much of their money she's wasted and never given back, and how many times she's joked about killing or harming them or myself. Concerning. I didn't know this next part, but my boyfriend opened up to Matt when they were first getting to know each other about how many women used him for his money. I knew that his last relationship ended badly while he still lived out east, but apparently this was the first major relationship after his lifestyle change, and he really loved her. He bought basically everything for her all the time, and he still cheated on her. All of that led him to become really insecure about people's motives when it came to dating. He explained that even some of the nicest women just lit up and acted completely different when he told them that he was a lawyer, and it completely killed any desire he had to get to know them better. That's understandable. When you gotta be like worried about people's intentions because you have money, that's not a nice feeling. He told Matt he didn't want to date anyone unless he knew someone who could vouch for them personally. Matt was the one who encouraged him to ask me out because he already noticed that we liked each other and told my boyfriend that I was a good person. Back to their recent conversation. Matt suggested that if my boyfriend needed more outside confirmation, he should listen to me and go talk to people in my life to get a better perspective on what kind of person I am. My boyfriend has actually spent the last week doing exactly that. He even went to my parents and told them what happened. Apparently, my mom was horrified. She really likes my boyfriend, so when she found out that inviting my sister had essentially caused a rift in our relationship, my mom got really upset. Her whole aspiration has always been to see all her children married, and since my sister has had nothing but failed relationships, and I've otherwise been chronically single, knowing she did anything to mess up my relationship was probably pretty upsetting for her. He said that she was crying and very apologetic. He also asked her to give me space until he had a chance to apologize to me himself, which in hindsight makes a lot of sense because my mom usually calls and texts me every day and has been a little MIA this whole week. All in all, my boyfriend said that my friends and family had nothing but good things to say about me, that I was absolutely not a gold digger, and anyone who even suggests this is just plain wrong. I was crying pretty hard by this point, hearing everything. He kept apologizing and saying that he would do anything to earn my trust back. Something my boyfriend both agreed to in this conversation is for us to get individual therapy. Him to deal with his unresolved insecurities and trauma around his parents and past relationships, and me because my sister did a number on me and I've never really opened up about it in therapy. We both agreed that we didn't handle this well, and in the future, any and all concerns we have will be communicated properly and immediately. I'm still annoyed by that. If I'm dating you for 6 months, I have shown you who I am, you gotta go around asking people to vouch for me and talk to my family. Huh? No. What do you mean? I'm annoyed by that. I'm so annoyed by that. Are you guys annoyed by that? Let me know. Maybe I'm just annoyed in general. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.